All right, so what I want to do is to close this and then, create an empty project. Then we start from there. But there are some things I want you to take note of. For instance, this line 10, can you see line 10? This is an annotation to specify an API controller. This is a base class where any controller can inherit from. This is an annotation to specify your route. So, and then you can see the method on top of your class. So I will delete this project and then we now open our empty project and do our to-do application. So you guys can further like understand what we're doing. So I might not even, okay, let me, I'm going to close it and then delete the entire thing. Don't save. So what I've done now is I've deleted the entire folder. So I will then do another one. 2019, what does it mean? Okay, so I'm creating a new project again. Create a new project. Remember how we navigated? We used ASP.NET Core, right? Web application. And then we went to next. We gave it a name, to do API. And then we click on create. And then I will now pick an, okay, let me pick an empty project that doesn't have any content. Then we'll fill it up by ourselves. Okay, so this is an empty project. You see, there's nothing there, just a startup class, which I showed you earlier, a program class, which I showed you earlier, app settings, that I showed you earlier. Properties are just like property file, and then dependencies, and then connected services is empty. So this is an empty blank project. And that's the good thing about development. So you can create anything inside this. You can make an e-commerce site, anything you want to make. It's up to you. So let's start from adding a folder, right? So on top of your project, go to add, make a folder for controllers, right? Add, make a folder for models. Those two are fine for now, models and controllers. So to now start thinking about our application. So one thing we failed to do is we've not designed this API. So we're supposed to design it. So, and what I would just do, like I showed you earlier in the web sequence diagram, where is that? Okay, in my web sequence diagram, I showed you something the other time. Yeah. So now we're going to design our API. There's going to be an API for get that will fetch all the to-do list items. So maybe we'll call it slash to do, right? And it's going to be get.
Yeah.
Then we're going to do, when we do this slash to do, then we created another one that we had. This one will be add to do. There's going to be a post, right? And we're going to call it slash to do as well. Are you guys following me? So what we're doing now is like we're designing. So we're going to do a get that will fetch all the to-do list. We're going to do a create that we're going to use to add to-do list. So it's also going to be slash to do. And then we're then also going to create another one. And this one will update a to-do item. So for this guy update, we can use put, PUT. Did you come about put when you were working, when you were reading? Not yet.
Yes.
There's also put.
Yeah.
So, but let me not use put for now. There's no difference. Put is just used to update something as well, but we can use post as well. So
Okay.
post, to do, and to do, then there will now be ID here, ID. Now, if you see what I'm doing here, when I do posts for a to do, so this will update an item, this will create an item, this will get an item. Let's do the one that will delete as well. So we can use delete, or we can use post as well to delete an item. So yeah, let's do delete. And then, so when you look at our resources, so we're going to have a slash to do. So we already know the name of our route, Abi. And then whatever we now pass in here will now be what we're going to get. And then each of these guys will return. This delete will return a 200. Okay. This update will return a 200. Okay. This create will return a 201. And then the fetch will return a 200 as well. API is beginning to form, right? So we're doing 4 methods.
Yeah.
We're doing 4 methods in this API design that we're doing. Please, I hope you guys understand what we're doing. I mean, yeah, I'm just happy to know that you get it. Why is AE not here? Has she joined us? No, she hasn't. All right, no problem. We'll continue. So, yeah. So let's work on this get first. So to work on the get, we have to define our model. Remember, we said model is our entity, entity is our model. They are synonymous. So inside this model folder, I'll now add a class. I'll call that class to do. Sorry? So there's a public class to do. Now, what property should be in our to do? So give me.
Name of to do. Name of the name of the
Yep.
do.
What else?
The day.
Okay, so now that this is going to be a very more robust application. So we can do something like date created. What do you think?
Okay.
Date created. So
yes, date created.
For date created, are we supposed to use string?
No, date time.
Date time. Thank you.
No. Date time.
So then we can also do something like anytime there's an update, we'll call it last dates updated. Are we together?
Yeah.
Right. And then, so this is a standard,
Yes.
we're building a standard API now. So I'm not going to just allow you to just use any data type anyhow. So last date updated, and then we can say name. Should we call it name or title? Title is better. The title of the action, the to do.
Title.
Then something also we're supposed to do is so the title, the ID, maybe like description. Do you think we need a description? So title will just be like read a book, read something book, and then description can now be I want to read this book. I don't know. I'm just what other thing? What
100.
Sorry?
So read pages 10 to 100 of this particular book.
Maybe exactly. So what other thing do we think a to-do item should have?
Status.
Status. Thank you. So
Status,
for the status, should we use a Boolean? Do you think we should just do true or false, or we should do something like status 1, 2, 3, 4? Can we have more than 2 status? Do you want us to have in progress?
Yeah, we should do a progress.
We should do because if we're going to have completed yes or no, then we need 2. But if we're going to have like not yet started, ongoing, and completed, then we need 3. So we'll do something. We'll make another class called status. So I'll say status, and then I'm going to call this one as well status. Do my getter, my setter. So it's going to underline this because there's nothing like, we call it to do status. So because there's nothing like status that I've defined, so I'll just come here and define another class called status. Public class status, right? And then status will now have its own, we can do status, we now have, we can use enums for this, but I've not explained enums to us, but we can do like, how should we design this that will make it? Let me use both for now. I don't want to go into some things that I've not explained so that you don't get confused.
Okay.
But the best thing to do here is enumeration. So, but I'll just do, completed true or false. Of course, we're going to come back and all those things that we're avoiding, we're going to come back and do everything. All right, so my class is set. I've defined my to-do as a class. Then right now I can now make it an entity. What's going on here? Okay, I think so right now I can now make it a model, right? Because I've defined the class. Now in my controller, I'm going to add, when you can add a controller directly. Can you see my screen? So right click on controllers and then add controllers. So you can pick an API controller here. API controller that is empty, or API controller with read-write actions. So I'm going to pick the one with read-write, just so we have something. So can you see it's telling me to name it? These are the places you enjoy Visual Studio because it has already given me controller in front of the name. I just need to add the beginning part. So this is now to-do controller. There was an error. I think I need NuGet for this. Okay, I need to connect this guy to the internet and just rebuild this guy. Build all succeeded. Okay. To do controller, that's the name I want to call it. Okay, 1 minute. I think I need to set a couple of things there. Because I'm using a different system. So my connection to the internet. You remember I explained proxy to you, right?
Yes.
Like an intermediary. So what happens is the system I'm using has a proxy on it. So it doesn't go straight to the internet. So it goes through a proxy. So because my proxy wasn't on, I didn't enable it. That's why I couldn't go to the internet from Visual Studio. So I should be able to go now, and you should be able to add the controller for me automatically. So you will be able to do this without any. So right now, our goal is that we want to go and create a route. We've created a model, right? So we're going to create a route that will return all our to-do items. So our to-do items. Okay, so yep, so my scaffolding worked and it's just trying to help me build my project again. So there are some things that Visual Studio can do for you behind the scenes, like all this code generation. You can start with a template.
I don't see your screen anymore.
Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, okay, I'm recording the screen. Okay, 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So after adding the controller, I added my to-do controller. Can you see what it did for me? So my to-do controller is now here under my controllers. When I open it, see what it has added for me already. Do you remember this? And do you remember this? These annotations
Yes.
on top. And do you remember this? So
Yes.
I didn't have to write these 3 lines, system generated it for me because I said it should generate for me. So apparently I have my class now. So inside this class, I will just create the method that I want. So for now, I want a method that will return a list of to do. Now it's going to complain because it doesn't know anything called to do. Why? I need to import, I need to reference this class. Are you guys with me? Please follow me. Follow me. Don't let me lose you. So I need to, so my method is called get all to do's. Get all to do's. Is a bad name, but I just want to get all to, so that's the name of my method. Now, what will my method do?
Okay.
My method will return all
So
to
this
do.
now.
Sorry,
I did now.
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Was that for me?
No,
Okay.
no, it's not.
All right. If it wasn't for me, then I can go ahead. So my method, this guy will return all the to-do items. So for now, I would just say that new, I would just say to do, I would just say that a list of to do, and I'll call it all equals to new list of to do. What I did here is not magical. We understand this, right? I created a list of to do. I call it all, or let me even call it to do's. Let me put S there, to do's, and I'm just going to return. I'm going to return that list. Return to do's, and that's all. So now this list that I created there, it's going to be empty, right? So what we can do is we can put in some to do items there, and just say to do, and I can fill in all the parameters. Don't let me confuse you with my person. So you can say, so our to do one. So to do one equals to new to do, right? To do. So I can now fill completed equals to false. It doesn't matter what order you fill in fields, they will always be fine. This created is, so my dates created can be the new, just call it datetime, right? Or a better way to do it is just do datetime dot now. Dot now means that the time, any time it was created is the time that it was created. Do you understand what I mean? So system will automatically assign any time it was created, date last updated. So I'll put that one as the same as well. Dot now, and then I will do the description. My first to do, and then I will do my ID. ID should be auto-generated, but for now, I'll just call it one. To do one. Are we together on this? Before I return my list, I will just do to do's dots had, and I will put in this my to do one there so that I don't have an empty list that I'm returning. Are we together? This is nothing different from what we've been doing before, so everybody's familiar with this. So the different part there is now I want to put an annotation on this guy called HTTP get, right? And then I also want to return an error code. I want to return an OK, 200 OK when it's successful. So in order to do that, there's something I can do. So I can do this. I can return OK and then put a bracket and put my to-dos inside here. Now, meaning that I'm not just going to return a list. I have to return what they call an I action result. And don't get confused. Okay, let me okay, don't let me do that yet. Don't let me do that yet. Just not yet. So I'm returning my to-dos, right? Are you guys still following me? So, and then I've created a route, I've created a method here. So our API is like technically ready from here. So I can run this guy, and then let's see what Visual Studio will give to us. He said the praise convert user SL, blah blah blah. Trust. Yep, trust. So that's a certificate question that Visual Studio will ask you. If you want to run on HTTPS, you have to let it create a certificate for you locally on your system. So now we have hello world. Where is hello world coming from? Did we have anything called hello world? Let's go back and check our code and see, maybe we have like a default route or somewhere. Okay. So hello world is coming from our startup probably. Yeah. Can you see where it's coming from? So in my startup, there is app.use endpoint, where endpoint is, so they are mapping any slash anything to return hello world. Slash anything to return hello world. And this is default, so you can remove this completely and delete it and all that. So, but that's not where we are going. We're going to, so I will show you some small annotations that will help us right now. So one of them is to return a JSON. So there's something called produces. I think you can just do, okay, let me see where this is coming from. Okay, fine. So produces, so what output do we want? So we can do something like application slash JSON. There's something I've not talked about. I've not talked about format. I've not talked about format, but then let's go ahead first. So I'm going to go to my Postman. I'm going to run my application, right? And while it's running, I'm going to go and hit /to-do. I'm going to go to my Postman and create a new request, right? On my new request, I'll call it to do, and then I can create a collection for it as well. It's not compulsory though, and I can save it. Now, and I can just go HTTP. Now, when you look at your program, when your program starts up, it's going to start up and give you a port. So this is, so we understand this. This is the protocol. This is the host. This is the port, right? Are you guys with me? So I put this in. This is my host. This is my port that Visual Studio generated for me automatically. And I can just do to do because that is a route, and send. Now, recall that what I'm just doing is just trying to find a route for myself. Now, when I did get, can you see the error that it gave me? Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes, 404.
404. Yeah, so meaning that I went to this server, which is my local host. I checked this port. I checked this route, but I can't find anything with this route. So I can't find anything with this route. So did you notice that we didn't have any route on our method? We just had a get. So we can do something here. We can do routes and just do /all. So there are two routes now. There is a route of the API / okay, no, before we even do that, see what our route is. Our route is API / the name of the controller. What's the name of the controller? To do. So I'm going back to my Postman, and I missed out putting an API here. So let's try API / to do and see what happens. And let me send this. And I still got a 404. Yep. So API / to do. So let's find out. It's an easy way to.
Case sensitive.
Is not.
Okay.
Apparently, is not at this stage. Is not. But if you want to do case sensitivity, you can as well do that. So what we're trying to set up here is just to set up a simple route. So we can come to this our, where is this our startup, and remove this. Sorry, what did you say?
I'm saying, how do you know the ports at which your app is running?
Yeah, well, if you right click on Visual Studio on your project, you can go to properties. If you go to properties, you will see unmute or debug, I think. Yeah, can you see? So you can use this ports.
Okay.
And it's going to put, so this is my HTTP ports. This is my HTTPS port. Can you see they are different? So anyone you want to use there can just come here and then pick it out. So typically I've removed the routing in that startup so that the routing on my controller can work. And then API / to do. Let me see. I can also debug these the same way we debug code, put a breakpoint and see how, how the request goes and all that. So okay, I got an error because this is not currently running. So there are some step-by-step things I'm doing intentionally. I've showed you the annotations that you'll be using, whether you want a get or you want a post, and then the name of the method, and then the name of any other thing that you want to set up. Okay, so I've got like my to-do controller, and my method is air. This is the name. He has a route on top of it. Okay, so one interesting thing we can do here. So we're not using our models at all. We're just using our model to build our result. So typically, if this were like when we're done, instead of returning a to-do here, this list here on this line 35, you know that we'll be getting that to-do from a database. Do you get? So instead of just creating a list there and filling it up by ourselves, we will get the to-do from a database. Let me add 1 or 2 or 3 more. So to do 2, 3, and then to the 3. All right, just to make sure I have like the number of items there. Okay. So like I said, instead of doing this, we'd rather go to, on a normal day, we'll be going to the database to pick all these things out. But because we don't have a full-fledged database right now, we're not going to do that. So, but nonetheless, we're going to still follow, our normal process the way we should have it. And I'm just going to give an example of something we can also do here. Okay, did we inherit from API controller? Okay, we did. Okay, so I'm going to put something in here just to see. So I might need to check my startup page. So the idea is that application/JSON, we will be able to retrieve all these guys. Somebody external, somebody calling an API will be able to retrieve all this directly by themselves. I need to put up a browser here for you guys. Oh, okay. So I'm still getting a 404. Let me see what else we have not done. We have created a route on this to-do API. Okay. And then we have added a method on top of there. So there's something missing because we're doing a get right now. And I
Is the
just need to,
controller base just a default thing?
yeah, is a base class where all controllers inherit from.
Okay.
All controllers. Any kind of controller you are using, we must inherit from a base controller. So the idea is that there are some things that might have been done for you, automatically under the hood.
Okay.
So those things you will just have to probably just, give them. So instead of having to do it yourself,
Yeah.
once you inherit from there, then there are some things that are automatically just like available for you to use. Once you inherit from a base controller. Okay, so let me see. There's a routing that I'm looking for. Action name. Nope. Web API 2. I don't want to go into migration yet. I don't want to go into details yet. Okay, let me change this and just see why my route attribute is not picking up what I wanted to pick. So I'll give my route as API/to-do here.